welcome to Great Getaways. Well, today we are here in Michigan's Upper Peninsula. We're in the Schoolcraft County area. We have our Traxxas electric bikes that we're going to be taking out, and we're going to find out about some of the trails that these kind of bikes can be used on. It looks like a fun adventure. We're going to several different places. We'll be talking to a lot of different people. We'll find out just where you can use them when you come up and try this. So let's get started. Well, we were excited to jump on our new e-bikes, but before we can ride our new bikes, the first thing we have to do is put them together. Well, we were quite fortunate. We have a good friend in the bike business, Rick Morris, owner of House of Wheels in Owasso. Rick and his right-hand man, Josh, were great. Put our bikes together right out of the box. Rick has been in business for 50 years, and he knows about bikes. We were in good hands. Well, how much work is it to put this bike together now that you got it out of the box? Did it take a long time?
No, probably 45 minutes or so, but we've been putting lots of them together, so we're getting good at it. I mean, it takes 15 minutes just to get all the packaging
out. I can see that. There's a lot there. We've got it in here, and we want to find out more about it. Can you tell us just a little bit of the specs on it?
Yes, this has the largest battery you can get on e-bikes, so that makes you ride farther, longer.
Okay.
This has a 750 motor, and so that's more powerful than a 350 or a smaller one, but sometimes you need the bigger motor to push the bigger tire along.
I notice that the tires themselves, they're quite knobby, so they're probably going to be good going down two-track roads and things like that.
Oh yeah, it makes you a whole nother way of exploring the backcountry.
Josh, I was looking up here. This looks kind of complicated. What have we got up here?
Yeah, so you got a lot of things going on, but all in all, once you figure it out, it's very simple. So you're going to have your front and rear brake. These are hydraulic, just like they are in a car or a vehicle. So they have hydraulic fluid running through the lines. These are Tektro. That's something that's important. One reason why we like Traxxas, they're using name brand components that have been very reliable for many years. Tektro, Shimano shifters. You got your controller here that'll allow you to control the power that runs to the dashboard here. Headlight, and then it does have shifters on it, which is cool. We've seen a lot of them just have single speed. This will really allow you to adjust when you're out in the backfield and you want to ease your gear. You can adjust your power, you can adjust your gear, find what's going to be the right setting to get you down the road.
You can read all about our Traxxas bikes, and we will give you the info at the end of today's show. Now it was time to start our e-bike adventure on the Upper Peninsula trails. Our first stop would be at the Haywire Grade Trailhead at Intake Park, where we would meet with Connie and Winch Diller. Well, we're here in Manistique today. We're up here to try out the new phase of biking called electric bikes. Now, probably you've seen them or heard about them. We've got a couple here that are really nice. We're going to take them out on the trails, but we want to find out more about the trails. And I've got Winch and Connie Diller, good friends of ours here in Manistique, and but you're also the head of the Motorized Trail Association.
Yeah, Schoolcraft County Motorized Trail Association. We manage the trails in Schoolcraft County.
Okay, so tell us a little bit about the trails out there. How many miles have you got?
We have 149 and change miles of trail. The motorized trails that are utilized by ORVs is the Haywire Grade.
Okay.
And that's 36 miles of highly improved and greatly improved trail that you can run an electric bike on. I mean, and I see you've got electric bikes with fat tires. Perfect. You're going to have a good time. As long as you keep the wheels straight. And
well, we might make it, right?
Yeah, you might make it.
We're going to find out. We're up here. We're going to be going out on these trails, and we brought some Traxxas bikes up with us, which is supposed to be ideal for these kind of situations. What are we going to run into, do you think?
Well, no, I know you're going to run into some flat stuff. There's always going to be gravel, but up on the northern end of the trail, there might be a little bit of sand that you'll have to navigate, but you got the fat tire, and with the electric assist, you should have no problem getting through. I mean, Traxxas is a good bike, so you should be able to push right through it.
Well, We sure hope so.
Yeah.
Let me say that. We're looking forward to getting out there and trying. What are the trails like? Are they in good shape?
Our trails are, well, we put a lot of money into our trails. With the 149.7 miles, we put approximately $400,000 into it so far.
All trail improvements.
All trail improvements.
That's in the last 5 years.
In the last 5.
Okay.
But you can also take bikes not only on the Haywire grade, but you can also bring them up into the Hiawatha National Forest. There are all types of roadways up there that you can bring your bikes on, and that brings you into different lakes, different streams, all different types of terrain if you want to do something different than just the Haywire. But the Haywire also has kiosks. We have 11 different information kiosks that are really interesting to stop and read them, and it's a nice little breakaway. And we also have mile markers. These are mile markers that were put up during our 2020 50th anniversary of the first Railroad Trail, and that is the Haywire grade, so be it the t-shirts. And yeah, it's a great place to ride bikes and do other things, but
Following Winch's directions, we started up the Haywire Grade Trail. Winch said it went up about 40 miles. That would take us up to M28. But at about 16 miles is the first crossing that puts us on M94. The actual railroad and grade started just north of the bridge that we are crossing today. There are actual pilings from the original bridge still there. Along the trail, there are 14 stops that are close to where the original depots and camps were located. This was Michigan's first rail trail. It was established right here in the central Upper Peninsula in 1970. Well, that was just over 50 years ago, and it was a milestone. This rail trail is so much more than a recreational byproduct of an old train line. It's an incredible piece of wilderness history and mechanical accomplishment. It is where the Lake Superior Railroad traveled, hauling the lumber that was cut from what we now know as the Hiawatha National Forest. This was the lumber that rebuilt Chicago after the Great Fire of 1871 that destroyed roughly 3.5 square miles and left more than 100,000 residents homeless. So we're going to enjoy this landmark trail, and we're going to travel it from Manistique to M94 on our mountain bikes. As we travel, we're going to learn more about the trail's history by stopping at the kiosks that give us descriptions on what history happened at that spot. The trail has been recognized as a Pure Michigan designated trail and designated as a heritage trail. The Heritage Trail project includes a series of 11 historical interpretive kiosks that explore the natural and cultural history of the area. The Haywire Grade received its name from the Haywire outfit, being a logger's term for a camp with poor equipment that had to be held together with haywire. The term became a nickname for the Manistique Lake Superior Railroad, which during emergencies was reportedly held together with pieces of discarded haywire by the railroad's engineers. While biking this trail, we were getting hot, hungry, and thirsty. Well, we come out of Manistique on the Haywire Grade, and we did a section that runs through the Lake Superior State Forest. It now changes, and we're going to be heading into the Hiawatha National Forest on the same trail. We'll take that up north and see where that takes us. One of our stops is going to be at the Jackpine Lodge. We're going to get down there, maybe have some lunch and just relax for a little bit and then get back on the trail. So a stop at the Jackpine it would be. There's clear signage going to the Jackpine Lodge. Winch told us that we might run into a little bit of sand when we get there, but that it was still a good trail. The trail was really wide, and like we were told, it had areas of gravel, as Denny found out when he tried to take a curve going a little too fast. Oh, whoops! Can I laugh? Well, Denny, so it must be okay. Oh, this won't be the last spill he has on this trip. We continued and found the trail peaceful and scenic. I've traveled this before on both ATVs and snowmobiles, but I really enjoy the serenity of the silence on a bike in the wilderness of Michigan's Upper Peninsula. We soon arrived at our first destination, the Jackpine Lodge. Well, we made it up out of Manistique. We're all the way up to the Jackpine Lodge here on 94, and it's connected to the Haywire Grade. There's a nice little trail that comes off, so if a person wants to stop here, you can get something to eat, you can get something to drink. There's cabins for rent. There's a campground here too. So it's a great little place and a great staging area to come into also. We're up here, of course, we've got everything ready.
After stopping in for a quick drink and some lunch, we jumped back on the trail, which was right outside the lodge.
What, Danny, you ready to go?
I'm ready, Tom. Let's do it.
All right.
It is the trailhead that would take us north into the Hiawatha National Forest, heading towards Steuben. We are now in the Hiawatha National Forest heading towards Steuben, which is about 5 miles away through some beautiful country. In the tiny hamlet of Steuben, you'll find a small grocery store, the last vestige of many logging camps or towns that vanished after the timber was depleted and the railroad was abandoned. As you come into Steuben, there is a kiosk explaining the CCC life here at Camp Steuben. It came online on May 4th, 1933. Campers were engaged in work designed to prevent forest fires and to begin the process of reforestation. Fire prevention activities included building of truck roads and the construction of lookout towers and fire breaks. They also work to establish nurseries, which are vital to the reforestation.
When we come up the Haywire Grade, we are now in the town of Steuben. The trail crosses right down the road from us, right there. And we came into here because they got a nice store here, some cabins, and we are hot, and we wanted something cold to drink, and maybe something to munch on too. We would give it some more thought, and we're gonna head down this road and see if we can find some spots, get back in the National Forest, go scouting around for some lakes, rivers, anything we can find. It's just fun to be out here.
This adventurous rails to trail wanders through miles of wetland, crosses 14 small bridges, but only 6 roads, and plows through a few sand traps. These, undaunted by the occasional washout or water over the trail, will be rewarded by the serenity of the Hiawatha National Forest and the Lake Superior State Forest through which the trail meanders. Leaving Steuben, we put the bikes on the truck and headed to Federal Forest Highway 13 and the Whitewaters Campground, where we would meet with Chelsea Callery, Public Affairs Specialist for the National Forest, to find out the do's and don'ts of using e-bikes in the National Forest.
Well, today we're out here at the Whitewaters Campground off of Forest Highway 13, right in the middle of the Hiawatha National Forest, well, the western zone of Hiawatha National Forest. And we came out here because we wanted to take the electric bikes out, but we wanted to find out what kind of regulations there are in using these type of bikes out on trails and roads. Chelsea's here to help us out with all this. And why don't we start with the regulations and what is involved?
Sure. Well, the e-bikes are allowed on all of our motorized trails, and they are not allowed on the non-motorized trails. But luckily for us, we have over 2,000 miles of motorized trails and roads on the Hiawatha National Forest, so plenty to explore.
Oh, it sounds like it. And a lot of these probably run by lakes and rivers and things too.
Yep, and that's why I wanted to come out here to the campground today, to just give you an example of some of the places that you can access easily and the roads that you can travel.
Now, what about people that are seeing this and they want to come up? How do they find out information on it?
So we do have some, we have these maps that are called the motor vehicle use maps. They're available both in paper at our offices and also online. Folks can download them to have on their own. They're also available on Avenza, so people sometimes put them on their phones to have when they're traveling.
Sweet.
Yeah.
It works out nice. You've got that all set up nice.
Yeah.
Well, what are some of the roads? We're out here in the middle of the forest at Whitewaters. Where can we go from here?
We actually have quite a few options out here. There's a gravel road that's heading up this direction and goes to another campground. We also have the main road that you came in on here. And the thing is that these roads, they'd have different experiences because they're of a different nature. Some of them might have a little bit more traffic, some might have a little bit less traffic. And so you can use this map to explore the variation in the roads and find an adventure that suits you and what your needs are.
Yeah, watch it there. It's buggy. Okay, now different types of vehicles so that are going to be out here on these roads besides the bikes, ATVs. How do we know which roads will accommodate what?
Good question. The map has a key that shows the different types of roads and what vehicles are allowed on each one of those types of roads. And so when you're planning your travels, you can take a look at the key and map out your route based on what you want to experience, what kind of traffic you want to see or want to avoid by looking at the different types of roads that are on this map.
Okay, and some of them are for actually full-size vehicles, but
Yep.
other ones are more for motorcycles or ATVs?
Yes, that's right. And so there are different types of roads for different types of vehicles, all based on the size. So there are different classes, all the way from a full-blown SUV down to motorcycle, just depending on what you're looking for.
Okay, but this type of bike, we can probably go on just about any of them then.
You can. That's the fun part about the bike.
Okay, you mentioned that you kind of have some suggestions of where we might go from here.
You know, if I were you, I would like to go up this road here because it's a nice forest road. It's basically a trail because it is a dirt road, and so it has that feel of being out on a trail.
Okay, and that's, I think, where we're going to go, and that'll take us over. We'll pick up other places, other roads and stuff from there that if we use the map, we can circle around and head across 13 and...
That's right. And so one of the things that you can consider when you're planning your route is what kind of things you might want to do and might want to see. For example, if you wanted to head out to a campground, if you were looking to take a swim, you could plan a route that goes by a lake. We got Pete's Lake just across the way here, and that might be a nice loop to connect all the different forest roads for a nice adventure.
Well, there you have it. Now all we have to do is get out there and do it. Chelsea, I appreciate you coming out here and helping us out and telling us a little bit about this. I know electric bikes are becoming pretty well known now,
yeah.
And a lot of people are buying them. It gives you an idea of when and where you can use them at. So Chelsea, again, thank you.
Absolutely, my pleasure.
Well, we've got everything ready. We got a pretty good idea of where we're going off to, so our road's this way. We're ready to take off. Everything's packed. I'm anxious to get going. We left the campground, came down a 2-track dirt road. We're at a boat launch or canoe launch for Fish Lake here. And Fish Lake's one of the big lakes along the Indian River in this area. We're gonna get on there right now and check it out, see what it looks like. After we left Chelsea, we started down the trail that ran next to Big Fish Lake for about a mile. We pulled into the boat launch and pulled out our pack rods to do a little casting before we went back on the trail. You guessed it, it was fishy time, so Denny put the camera down and started fishing. No video now until we get back on the bikes. Well, we've had a good run out here in the National Forest today. The Traxxas bikes really worked pretty good. They had plenty of power for everything we were going through. It was easy to put on a pedal assist. You're going up a hill, I put mine on 2, and you just crawl right up the hill like it's nothing. But and then you got your fat tires. Now we have run into a variety of different road types out here. The worst I'm running into are the exposed rock and loose rock that's sitting on top of it. That's really bumpy going over that stuff. What was worse is right after I picked up speed going across that, but then I hit sand. And the sand, if you stay in the ruts, you're all safe. But it's got a mound in the middle. The minute that tire even touches that mound, it's grabbing and it's throwing you around, and it's threw me to the ground. But didn't get hurt, feel great. Bike looks good, didn't hurt that. So I'm happy. and I'm ready to get back on the road. Well, after a long couple of days on our Traxxas electric bikes in the Superior State Forest and the Hiawatha National Forest, it was time for dinner and a drink. We met back up with Connie and Winch, who told us about a brand new craft brewery that just opened called the Flatiron Brewery, and wanted to know if we would like to try it out. Me? Try out a new beer? Silly question.
We're going to take you to the newest brewery in Manistique.
Oh, you got a brewery here now, huh?
Yes, sir.
Oh, cool. What's the name of it?
Flatiron Brewery.
That sounds pretty good.
Yeah, and they got all kinds of food too.
Oh, they got food in here also?
Yes, sir. Not just pork chop in a glass.
Okay, well, that's cool too, but a little food would be good. What do you say we head on in and check it out?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir.
I got you.
We've gotten inside, you know, one of the first things I've seen are these couches sitting here, and I thought, you know, I like to be comfortable when I'm sitting down drinking a beer. And so we've sat down, and we're being joined by Karen McDougall right now, who is assistant manager here. And Karen, maybe you could tell us a little bit about the brewery. How long has it been here?
Oh, the brewery, we just opened in April of this year. Our grand opening was April 30th, so just over a month ago.
Okay, and how is it going so far?
It's going very well. We've had a great response from the community. We're very thankful. We've also had a lot of tourism in as well, because we're located just down the road from the city campground. So it's been wonderful.
Good spot. Okay, now I want to get to the really important stuff. What's the beer like?
Oh, the beer is wonderful. It depends what you like. We have a variety, so we can, anyone who's a beer drinker, we have something for every beer palate. We have IPAs, we have stouts, a lager, we have some fruit beer, we have some Goldens, a little bit of everything.
How about food?
We have Detroit-style pizza made from scratch. We have an excellent menu. If you haven't tried it yet, you'll have to.
It sounds good.
So Detroit-style pizza is like a deep dish pizza. The sauce goes on last. The crust is amazing. We have pasta dishes. We have salads. And we have wings.
Sounds good to me. Well, Karen, Flatiron Brewery, how did a name like that happen?
It's very interesting. The name for Flatiron is linked to a piece of Manistique's history from the late 1800s. So in the late 1800s, Chicago Lumber Company owned a majority of the properties, and they wanted all of their property to be dry. And there was a chunk of property located in downtown Manistique that was owned by someone else, and he opened a pub or a place that served alcohol. And at one point, I don't know the number, there were like in the 20s of bars that were located in that district, and when you looked at the district in an aerial view, it was shaped like a flatiron. So they called it the Flatiron District.
You guys ready? There it is. Well, we're up here on our electric bikes, we're out on the trails, and I'll tell you what, the trails, we're super dusty, and this is where you got to come in. After you ride those bikes, you got that little dirt in your throat, you come in here and wash it down. So tell me, as you come in here, what do you have to do?
Well, you can go straight up to the bar and order a beer first, if that's what you'd like to do. We have several delicious drafts, and we change them out regularly. Or you can sit down at your table. We have a QR code platform that we use. You scan the QR code, order your food. You'll receive an alert when your food is ready from the kitchen, and the food is picked up at a window over there.
Okay, I see it.
Then after that, you would go up to the bar and then order your drinks if you haven't already started.
Okay, I think most of us have already started.
Yes.
So, do you brew the actual beer here?
Yes, we do. Right in that back corner. We're hiding our brew room.
Well, I hope you enjoyed today's show. We had a great time out here on our Traxxas electric bikes, finding new trails and new places to go. I hope you enjoyed the show. If you want more information, you can go to our website at greatgetaways.tv. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next week.